Hello and welcome back to the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Ferguson, writer for UCLA on SI. Today we're going to be breaking down UCLA's terrible loss to Michigan, where they lost by 30 points, 86-56. It was not a good game. I'll be the first one to admit I thought this game would be a lot closer, but obviously it wasn't. But before we get started, I want to thank everyone right now who is tuned in and listening. It means a lot to me, and I really do appreciate it. With that being said, let's kind of go into what went wrong, what went right for UCLA, and the overall game flow. So for starters, I thought UCLA played a good first half. I thought they were able to stay in the game. I know there was times where Michigan was able to kind of get a heavy lead at one point, but UCLA was able to end the half on a 7-0 run. And I think at that point, it was only a 2-point game. Michigan had 40, UCLA had 38. But then the second half, completely different story. UCLA only scored 18 points to Michigan's 46. So that's kind of where, the game fell apart for the Bruins. There was a lot of things that went wrong. Obviously, shooting was a huge issue no matter what. The Bruins shot, I believe they went 7 for 27 on the field and shot 10% from the three-point line. Compare that to Michigan, who shot 67% from three, and they made 18 out of 23 shots there in the second half. That was the turning point. Obviously, UCLA has not been the most consistent team, but when they are on, they're on, and that's kind of why I thought UCLA would be able to keep this game close. But again, we just did not see that. But there's something that really bothered me when watching this game. I know, Xavier Booker, he has shown to be a really good player, but he took up a lot of the shots for the Bruins, and I thought that just simply cannot happen. He went 2 for 7, went from 6 from 3. He attempted the most threes on the team, more than Bilodeau, Perry, even Sky Clark. We got him back. I'll get to him in a little bit. But still, it was really annoying to see him take that many threes. I know Mick Cronin wanted to because he's a 40% shooter, but again, that's on low volume. He's not consistently throwing up threes like that, taking 5+ attempts per game. He'll make like 1 or 2 a game, and that's kind of why he has a 40% three-point shooting. Again, it was bothersome. I didn't really know how to like kind of look at the positives when he would shoot the ball, because again, that was taking shots from Bilodeau, Perry, Dent. Those guys were getting hot for that first half, but then kind of obviously took a huge dip there in the second. I thought also Trent Perry, he played excellent in this game. 14 points, 5 for 9 from the field, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. You can't ask for a better game from Perry in a 30-point blowout. He played hard every single possession. He wanted to be that difference maker. In the second half, when UCLA went cold, the only person who could really score in that second half was Trent Perry. And again, you got to give him props to that. Sky Clark's playing off the bench. I'm not too sure if Mick Cronin will, run this lineup again. Obviously, he's going to want to change some things after losing by 30 points. But again, you got to give credit to Michigan for their adjustments in the second half. And UCLA really didn't have anything for it. Take Bilodeau, for example. Second half, he went 0 for 3. In the first half, he was 4 of 9, scored 10 points, had 5 rebounds. So just there, that second half performance was just something that is inexcusable. Michigan obviously did a lot better than UCLA was hoping they would do in that second half, and it was kind of obvious what needed to happen for the Bruins. They just needed to stay competitive in this game, make the shots. One thing I did think UCLA actually did really good at was rebounding. In the second half, in the first half, UCLA had plus 10 rebound margin on the Wolverines, which was something that was completely unprecedented. Obviously, we know the kind of players that Michigan has, Lendenborg, Mara. Those players will get rebounds at a high rate. Obviously, they kind of, solved that issue in the second half, but still, again, it was just so frustrating to see UCLA just completely run out of steam in that second half. And overall, that we got what they wanted, right? If you're going to shoot, that little, 18 points in a quarter and a half, you're not going to win a game. There's no team in the country will let you win a game if you're scoring 18 points a half. But again, just very disappointing. But now I want to kind of break down each player for UCLA. Obviously, I kind of touched on Perry. I thought he played well. 14 points, great shooting. was really the heart of the UCLA team. He had the most points for the Bruins. So yeah, overall, great game for Perry. It's going to be interesting to see how Mick Cronin decides to divvy up those minutes. Obviously, Sky Clark played 16, but again, he's just coming off injury, so he's not going to be thrown in there right away. Obviously, I talked about Booker. I don't want him taking that much shots in the game because I think UCLA just has so many other shot takers who will give you better, percentages across the board. That Rutgers game, I felt like I said in an article that it was kind of fluky. I didn't think he would be able to repeat this consistently. Again, very disappointing. He only had 2 rebounds in this game too. So again, that's kind of where it kind of gets annoying when you watch Booker play. It was just him against Mara, and Mara obviously took advantage of that. Donovan Dent, I didn't think he played bad. I thought he could have played a little bit better. Or I should say, I thought he played well for what the circumstances were. But if UCLA were to win this game, he can't have 10 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. I mean, he's got to be better than that. He had 5 turnovers, so that's obviously going to tank, his performance a lot. UCLA really did struggle with turnovers, and Michigan is not a team you want to make that many mistakes on because they will make you pay the price. And I thought that happened in this one, no doubt about it. I'm still liking Dent. His shooting, he didn't get to the line as much as he wanted to. I knew that would be an issue when, he wasn't getting to the line as much. His scoring would go down. And I thought Michigan was able to defend him well without, too much contact. He shot 2 free throws, missed both of them. He shot 3 threes, missed all of them. So just not the best game overall from Donovan Dent. He is UCLA's big game player, him and Bilodeau, and they just really did not show that in this one. Eric Daly Jr., rough game for him. He got into foul trouble very early. I think he had like 2 fouls right out the gate. I think it was at the 15-minute mark of the first half is where he started to, pick up the fouls at a consistent rate. Lendenborg was just driving and he was drawing contact. Same thing with Mara. There was really no hope for, Daly Jr. to kind of pick up that momentum in this game. He had 3 points, shot 1 for 5, 1 from 2 from the line, 2 rebounds, and again, 3 fouls. He played just 14 minutes in this one. It's hard to build a solid performance when you are, a magnet for fouls. I mean, every possession, it felt like someone was getting fouled on Michigan when it was kind of getting closer, but still, I got to see more from Daly. I need him to be more disciplined. But overall, I think with a bigger sample size of play time, I think Daly could have been a lot more significant in this one. Him not playing was also a huge reason why UCLA really did struggle in that second half when you kind of realize who else was in. Next, Jamar Brown, 2 for 4, or 2 points, 1 for 4, 0 for 1 from the field, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. 3 fouls for himself. He played 24 minutes. Not a bad game for Brown. Again, he was just doing what he had to do. He played aggressive. I thought he was really, being physical in the paint. Again, 3 fouls, so that kind of proves that. But still, I need to see him score more, especially if he's replacing Daly, because Daly himself is a good scorer. He's had 15 points multiple times this season, Eric Daly Jr., but we need Brown to start, picking that up. And that's kind of a broader problem for the Bruins. Not having that depth at the forward position really is starting to hurt them. And I think I saw that, obviously saw that in this game when, things weren't working out for the Bruins starters. Tyler Bilodeau, I kind of went over him, 10 points, 4 for 12 from the field, 2 for 4 from the 3-point line. He also had 6 rebounds. He had 2 fouls himself and 2 turnovers. He played 35 minutes. He was a ghost in the second half, and honestly, you could blame him for that, but you really can't. They just could not find Bilodeau in that second half. He only shot the ball 3 times. When your best player is only shooting the ball 3 times, it's something that the other team's doing, not necessarily what he's doing. But there was just no opportunity for Bilodeau to really take over. We saw him do that kind of late in the first half, and that's a big reason why UCLA was able to keep the game within 2. But when Michigan took that away, UCLA had no other means of scoring, and I thought they did that very well, and that caused UCLA's offense to kind of go radio silent. And again, the depth is just not there for UCLA. If something's not working for, Bilodeau, Cronin doesn't have a guy who can go in there and kind of, figure it out and, score a little bit more points than what we saw Bilodeau do in that game. Next is Jamerson. I thought Jamerson, he actually played well in this one. I thought he was physical enough in the paint. He had 4 fouls. So again, that discipline, physicality, but I thought he was getting screwed a lot in this game. There were times where he wouldn't even touch like Lendenborg or, Mara. Both of them had crazy free throw attempts. And that just really caused, a lot of issues for UCLA because Jamerson was playing very well when he was playing. I mean, he only played 16 minutes and he was able to record 4 fouls. So it was clear that, without the fouls, I think, Jamerson would have had a better game. But again, that just was not the case. I want to see more Jamerson moving forward. I think he could be a really good piece. He obviously wants to be physical. I saw a lot of putbacks in this game, something that we haven't seen from really Booker or anyone else on the team. I thought that is something that UCLA needs, and it actually helped UCLA. The Bruins had 18 second chance points to Michigan's 8. So again, that was just great overall from the Bruins. I thought, the rebounding was good, and that kind of starts with Jamerson. He only had 2 rebounds, but again, he was really creating opportunities, boxing out, completely taking out Michigan's players when the rebound was coming down. And I thought that's something you really can't, what's the word for it? You can't really criticize him for. Last up, Sky Clark, his first game back after 10 games. And this is the exact performance I wanted him to do. I know there was going to be some growing pains, right? He had a turnover that was pretty bad, 2 fouls. But he shot the ball well. 2 for 4 from the field. Those were just 3-pointers. 2 for 3 from the field from beyond the arc. That's exactly what I wanted, Sky Clark to do. I wanted him to play, with the little minutes I knew he would get, 16. I wanted him to really step up into that role and really provide that depth for, Perry and Dent. Again, this is not really the best, first game back. Obviously, losing by 30 is hard because, mentally you're going to think you're the problem. But again, I thought Sky Clark did everything he could. Obviously, I would have liked him to see him take more shots that, Booker took. I would rather see, Sky Clark with, 5 attempts from the 3-point line with Booker with like 3 or 2. But that being said, again, I thought Clark played well. Not a bad game for him. I'm excited to see how he builds on this and how Mick Cronin's going to kind of divvy up the minutes because I liked, Perry and Dent playing 33 minutes. That's still a lot. But again, if Clark can see 20 minutes in those numbers for Perry and Dent go down, I think UCLA will be in a very good position to really be able to outlast teams. But again, depth is going to be an issue for UCLA no matter what, especially at the forward and big man position. So it's going to be interesting to see how UCLA goes about addressing this. But that's kind of all I have for the players. Again, I thought Michigan was just the better team in this one. The first half, there was a little bit of hope that UCLA would be able to pull out a win here. But again, the second half was just the worst half I've ever seen UCLA play. I mean, 18 points. What are we doing here? Just a terrible game. And again, there was multiple factors in why they did bad. Obviously, UCLA just wasn't shooting the ball well. But even when they had these open shots, you were like, oh, this is a layup. UCLA will be in this game if they can hit a few more of those. It'd get blocked right away. Michigan had 6 blocks. Again, UCLA had no answers whatsoever. The defense Michigan was playing on UCLA was just unstoppable. Bilodeau, again, completely quiet in the second half. Those adjustments Michigan made at halftime worked, and we need to see Mick Cronin figure out how to better adjust on the fly to avoid this. And honestly, for me personally, I think a loss like this really puts Mick Cronin on the hot seat. 30 points no matter what. If you're a Big Ten Power 5 team losing by 30 points to, the top of the Big Ten, you're going to start to wonder, where are you at on the pecking order of the Big Ten? And right now it feels like UCLA is near the bottom, especially, 30-point loss. Indiana lost to them by 14 a few weeks ago. So again, that just kind of shows how far off UCLA is from really making noise this season. I don't think they really will to round out the season. Next up, they have number 10 Michigan State. After that, number 8 Illinois. Sorry. So it's going to be a really difficult time for the Bruins. I hope they can, pick up their head and, go into Lansing and, tear things up. But again, I don't really see it happening after this one. Again, I set their expectations a little too high, so maybe that's on me. But overall, bad game by UCLA. We need to see better. But again, that's all I have today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Andrew Ferguson. And as always, 4's up.